may this be one of the best moments of your life. You're listening to the BusinessMirror podcast for a broader look on business with Senior Editor Dennis Estopase.
Good day, I'm Dennis Estopase, and welcome to Podcast Xtra, where we discuss and share topics at the fringes of Philippine business and economy. Our topic for today is about the late Senator Nene Pimentel from the point of view of his spouse. The journalist behind this story is BusinessMirror's Editor-in-Chief, Ms. Lourdes Fernandez. This podcast will be narrated by BusinessMirror reporter Bernadette Nicolas. Let's get on with the story.
Please Just Let Me Cry, Love, Music define Nene Bing marriage of 59 years. For the 59 years they were married, the loving husband Nene Pimentel Jr. had only one request to make of his wife Lourdes Nanay Bing each time they faced trials, which, as anyone familiar with the late political leader's life knows, came aplenty. His request, nay, command, since the first time he was whisked away by state security forces for criticizing the dictator and martial law, was just, don't cry. Nanay Bing remembered that day well, the first of many moments she had to be brave for Nene's sake and the family's, because she totally embraced all that he stood for. As Cagayan de Oro's very popular mayor, the feisty Nene had no qualms speaking his mind. He would repeatedly pay for his independence, with 5 detentions to boot. But each arrest only made CDO's young lawyer mayor even more determined. And each time he was put in jail, the tiny southern city's residents would erupt in protest, marching on the streets to demand his freedom. The charismatic leader attracted such a big following in Mindanao and eventually the rest of the nation, that he subsequently became one of the founders of the PDP Laban, a political party that started so small it was often the butt of jokes. People said it held its conventions inside a Volkswagen Beetle. As it turned out, PDP Laban zoomed to national prominence as one of the pillars of the United Front that eventually booted out Ferdinand Marcos in a bloodless regime change in 1986. In 2016, one of its members would, in fact, be elected president with a commanding 16 million votes. In all the years Nene Pimentel was in public service and the public eye, it was his wife Bing who stood as low-key sentinel. True to her promise, I never cried each time adversity would come, she recalled to the BusinessMirror on Sunday night at the wake of Nene. The former Senate President and key member of the Constitutional Commission, tasked by President Duterte to review the Constitution, died at 5 a.m. Sunday, October 20, from complications due to lymphoma. While she didn't cry during Nene's political trials, Nanay Bing said she had to break her promise when the doctor gave the dreaded verdict recently. There was nothing much they could do for the 85-year-old leader as cancer ravaged his body. Daughter Gwen Pimentel Gana said her tatay had enjoyed some remission for some time, but 6 months ago, the cancer came back with a vengeance. I told myself, on hearing what the doctor said, that this time I needed to cry, and I did cry long and hard that day, Nanay Bing recalled. It was then that the inspiration for what would be her latest song suddenly sprang. Please Just Let Me Cry. She found herself singing impromptu to her dying husband. And when she realized she was composing yet again another song, I took out my cell phone and I just had to record the first part, so she could reconstruct it and put down the notes. Love and music, being side, had defined much of their 59-year-old relationship, a partnership founded on rock-solid values that defied all political storms. Imagine this, in just a little over 6 months, we would have marked our 60th wedding anniversary, and I was planning another renewal of vows. I was planning to make it some sort of musical, said Nanay Bing, a CD of whose previous musical works were produced a few years ago. With Nene gone, the title of the last song she's composing, Just Let Me Cry.
For the text version, please go to www.businessmirror.com.ph and search for Please Just Let Me Cry. The story of the title was published in the Business Mirror newspaper on October 21, 2019.
Thank you for listening to the Business Mirror podcast. For a broader look on business, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Business Mirror. Until next time.